Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to a surprise stream, middle of the week stream. It is Monday night for me, and hopefully we get some folks from different time zones, because this is total opposite end of the day compared to the normal time for the stream. Why are we here? We are here because Rode just launched. Oh, I'm out of focus because I was filming slightly higher up before. Rode just launched this RØDECaster Video S. So I thought it'd be fun to take it for a spin and show you a little bit about what it does and how it works. And yeah, we can dive into that. I've got it routed into the show here. It is, I'm not streaming from this right now. This is here so I can mess with it and not mess with the stream. But we can do a stream and I can show you more features this way. And we can stream to a little internal stream within the stream. So yeah, welcome. Hopefully you found my video on it already. I posted it just 2 hours ago at 3 o'clock when the embargo lifted, and I'm pretty excited about it. So yeah, here we are. Looks like we've got a few folks in the chat, but feel free to jump in and say hi and get yourself on the map if you are just joining us. Is that the slowest resolve available? Was that the slow crossfade I did to show you a sneak peek of the RØDECaster under the map? Yeah. So yeah, RØDECaster Video S. I'm pretty excited about it. Nice surprise from Rode. You know, some people were wondering if they were going to do a 4K next, or if they were going to do SDI version or whatever. And yeah, out of nowhere, they came out with this smaller version. It is quite a bit smaller. Here's the RØDECaster video for comparison. So it's actually about the same like depth. It's just narrower. So fewer buttons. Fewer inputs, fewer media slots, but otherwise it's very, very similar to the RØDECaster Video. It's basically the same device, just different physical inputs and outputs. Oh my gosh, I can hear the cats running around upstairs. Their little dinner feet. Yeah, so this is no surprises really as far as like what it can do. It is, if you're used to the RØDECaster Video, it is the same thing except slightly smaller. So 4 video channels instead of the 6 here, 4 media slots instead of 6 here, 7, 5 media slots instead of 7. There we go. I know how to count things. But yeah, otherwise it's basically the same capabilities. So if you have any questions, start your message with the letter Q and it'll drop it on the screen here. Otherwise, we're going to start playing around with it. Indiana Cornbread Nerd, I love that username. That's hilarious. How well does the RØDECaster Pro 2 pair for mixing more complex audio in? Yeah. Wow, the cats. I don't know if you can hear that. So yeah, the RØDECaster Pro 2 is definitely a good thing to pair with this. It is, there is quite a handful of audio processing capabilities in the RØDECaster Video, so you don't need it, the RØDECaster Pro 2 necessarily. And you do have 2 XLRs combo jacks on this, and then 2 headphone jacks. And wireless microphones. So you can go and pair wireless microphones. So here's where you can configure all your channels, and you can see you've got the option for 2 combo jacks, 2 wireless mics. Do you want your video clips, your HDMI audio, Bluetooth audio, USB audio, network audio, which is NDI. So you have a lot of different audio options here. And if you go, you can do it here, but I like doing it on the computer better. But you can adjust the effects and stuff as well. So it's just a little bit easier to do it on the computer. So if I show you the computer screen and we go into this, the audio mixer here, you can see you've got all these audio processing effects. So again, you don't need the RØDECaster Pro 2 unless you want more inputs for audio, in which case it does pair very well with it. It basically, the way it works is you plug in the RØDECaster Pro into one of the USB slots, and they only took out one USB slot on this. So you still have USB to plug in audio. So the one they took out was one of so there's like two computers slots. One is for the video, one is just for audio, one hard drive, and then a audio interface slash webcam, or microphone slash webcam. And they took out the second one of those. So you plug in over USB, and then it'll bring in a stereo mix. It doesn't bring in all of the individual channels, but it does bring a stereo mix from the RØDECaster Pro, either of the RØDECaster Pro models. And then you can do all your audio mixing there and just have a single mix brought into the RØDECaster Video. So if you already are using that for a podcast, keep using that for a podcast, and then bring this in for the video. Does it get hot? I've only had mine on for about an hour total at this point, because it literally just arrived in from FedEx at like noon today, and then I very quickly filmed a video, and here we are. So I don't know yet. I can feel this side's warm, this side's not really. So I think it's blowing out that side. It's not hot yet, but this has only been on for a tiny bit yet. We'll find out. My assumption is it won't get as hot as the RØDECaster Video because it's doing less stuff because there's less channels in it. I'm missing a good side camera for this. What happened to my side camera? Oh, I stole it for the other. That's what it was. I stole it for the lab camera back there. But I do have this PTZ, which I can maybe use this as a side camera. Donnie says, do you think they will bring Dante audio into these by software upgrade at some point? Total guess, but my guess is no, they won't. And the reason I say that is because, especially if you look at this compared to the RØDECaster Video, they went smaller here, right? They downscaled. They kept it HDMI. They didn't do SDI. They downscaled it. They removed some capabilities, and they shrunk the price a lot. So my assumption is that they're going after the more consumer end of the market rather than the more pro end of the market. So that just means that, like, I would not expect someone with a small home studio to really know what Dante is or how to use it. So I doubt it. Anything's possible, but I doubt it. That's my sense of what I would expect to see. Ryan says, how is the latency from glass to glass, especially using USB for a webcam? Would it be noticeable? I haven't actually plugged this in over USB in a while. Let's try that. I should be able to. I don't need this. No, I have another USB cable here. Let's try that. And I can plug it into my computer as a webcam. So it comes with this cable. This is a 60 watt 5 gigabit cable, so good solid USB cable. Comes with only one because I think the RØDECaster Video came with two. But okay, so we're gonna plug this into the first USB port, which is the one that has video out. And that is going to go run around my desk into the computer. Well, actually into a Thunderbolt dock that's plugged into my computer, so hopefully that works. Oh, actually that's another thing I should bring out really quick. I forgot about this. Let me go grab the link to this. This is something that they sent me a little while ago, and I have not properly, well, it wasn't really for a video, but it was just to give them beta feedback on. And I don't know where the link is. It's called the Rode Hub. I just wanted to drop the link into the chat for the timestamps. Wow, it's not on B&H at all. Okay. Let's see if it's on Rode's website. There it is. So this Rode Hub is a pretty beefy little USB hub, which is good for this kind of thing. I might need to make this my default hub on this computer, actually. So check this out. This is wow, the cats. This, I don't know what the sticker is. So it's got power in, computer interface, micro SD, SD, and then USB 3, and then 6 USB-C slots. Crazy. So yeah, that is a useful little box. I need to get this rigged up to my computer. If my Anchor USB hub gives me trouble, I will swap it for this, but hopefully this works fine. Okay, so I was trying to check what the latency was for webcam. So if I go and pull this up in let's say QuickTime, let's movie recording, and there's the RØDECaster video, and this, I guess this is a good demo of the latency because you can see my camera, and you can see the USB output into the computer. So there's a little bit of latency for sure. Quarter second, eyeballing it, that's hard to tell visually. If you go back and rewind frame by frame in YouTube, you can probably tell. Let's find out what that is. So if you, neat trick for YouTube is if you, let's mute that. So if you're on YouTube and you pause, then you can use the comma and period to frame by frame navigate. So let's see, there's a clap, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 frames between what you see in the camera and what the USB gets. It might have, I'm trying to think if there's one extra frame added because I'm pulling a copy of the video out of the switcher, so it might be 6. But yeah, so not bad, but definitely some latency. Pretty good, actually. Thank you. Yeah, it is pretty good, I would say. I don't actually know how that compares to the ATEM. I haven't compared it in a while. Giovanni says that was a terrific video synopsis of the RØDECaster Video S. Well, thanks. I'm glad. Hopefully you enjoyed that and watched it when it first came out and helped with my views on one of the first edited videos I've published on this channel in quite a while. Mr. Comic Studio says, what happens to the file if the system gets disconnected or loses power while recording? Good question. Should we try it and find out? That's what we do here, right? And that's one of the reasons I'm not actually streaming from it directly today, so we can test this kind of stuff. Do I have what happened to my little short USB cable? Oh, this will work. So let's plug this in and give it a try, and we'll get it plugged into the hard drive slot, which is number 3. And okay, there, it recognized the drive. That button turned green. And let's see, I think I put it into ISO mode. Let's make sure it's in ISO mode. Yeah, great. So we're going to do ISO recording, and we have camera overhead, my phone camera, which is not in a good spot. My phone camera, there we go. And camera 4 is this webcam. Oops, oh my gosh. I got tangled up in the USB I just connected. So camera 4 is a USB webcam, and we'll go ahead and hit record. There it goes, and give it a couple seconds. And let's see, maybe when we hit 30 seconds, I'll, what should I do first? Should I yank the power or the drive first? Maybe it's the same thing. Let's yank the power. Extreme, power cut. See what happens to the drive. Hopefully there's nothing on the drive that I care about. Okay, 30 seconds. 3, 2, 1, go. Yanked the power out of that. Shut off. I should have not done that with the multi-view on the air. Okay, and then we're going to take this and plug it into the computer and see what happened to the files. Meanwhile, I will turn this back on. Okay. Okay, here are the files. Oh, wow. My computer just went into night mode because it just got dark out because it is now winter, apparently. Lovely. Okay. So, RØDECaster Video. Default. Well, there's 120 megs recorded. Record. There it goes. And give it a couple seconds. Don't need the sound on. It looks like it recorded 21 seconds. What was the... Actually, I do want the sound to know what I said last. Extreme power. Okay, definitely missed the last 9 seconds. Okay, let's yank the power. Extreme power. Yep. Did it do that for all of them? Record. Yeah. No, that one lost 4 seconds. Interesting. Record. Goes. So we hit 25 on that shot. That's not too bad, actually. It didn't get corrupted. Like, the file is all still there. It's all playable on the Mac. And it just lost the last couple of seconds of video. I would consider that a perfectly acceptable failure mode. Are there ISO files accompanied with the XML metadata? What's on the drive? No, we don't have any kind of metadata. We just have the audio, we have the program video, and then the 4 different camera angles. So no XML metadata. But thanks for the question. When does it come out? Yeah, I just saw that they said they're shipping in December. Although actually one part of the website says November 24th and the other part says December. So I'm guessing it's probably December. Yeah, this was the only one of 2 in the United States right now. So thanks, Rode, for sending this over. But they actually sent it. It was silly. They actually sent it on Friday, and I was out of town on Friday when they sent it. And I was on a plane all day Saturday. And FedEx came and tried to deliver it Saturday morning. They just sent it overnight, like express. And I was gone, and Lily was gone that morning. She was at work, and I missed it on Saturday. So I missed on Saturday, got the delivery exception notice, and then of course they don't redeliver on Sundays. So I was like, shoot, that means it's not going to come till Monday. Thankfully, it got put back in the express line, and it had a before noon delivery time, and they came at about, it was 11:30 or noon when it got delivered. Thankfully, didn't miss it that time. Signature required, right? And came I got it at like noon, and then very, very quickly threw together that video. So one of the fastest videos I've ever done. Rode showing contempt for people that do a lot of video editing. I think, yeah, so I get it. I guess that like, it's not a post-production tool, I guess. It's like, it's really for the, just get it out, get it done live, right? Like, I don't know, video podcasts, I think works really well for that. You can always re-edit yourself, but yeah, it's not going to give you the XML file where you can slightly adjust your edits. So I think it's really more for like, for like, I mean, actually, now that I think about it, I have never even used the XML file that gets created with the ATEM Mini. I have rarely ever even had the patience to re-edit a live video. And if I did, and I really needed to fix it, I would just cover up the mistake or just re-edit, like edit the live file. So yeah, I don't know. Did I go to the FedEx Depot? No, thankfully it didn't hit that point yet. They just re-delivered it, and I didn't have to go pick it up. I also had no option to pick it up on Saturday either, which was weird. Mr. Comic Studio says, that's great. I remember the regular RØDECaster video when released had a problem with that. Oh, with the corrupted files. I just realized I should really put on the TV back behind me. I should really put the overhead shot of the RØDECaster. So we're going to do that. There we go. That's more fun. Greer says, for $500, considering what you can do, this is amazing. I agree. I mean, that's really like the thing that is the most impressive about this for me, is that it is $500. It is, I totally understand that a lot of people would be hesitant to get the RØDECaster video for $1,200, even though like it's clearly made for smallish studios. It's kind of a lot of money. Part of me kind of wishes I had not actually bought a RØDECaster video yet for Lily's studio, because the S might be the right one for her. I don't think we're actually using all of the features of the big one. So, oh well. Yeah, I think it's really smart of them to do the lower price point. Danielle says, any new products coming from OC and planning to buy the Duet 8 ISO, should I wait? I have no idea. I have no insight into their hardware. They have always surprised me with the hardware launches, so I wouldn't even expect to have heard anything quietly if they're doing a new version yet. But they already have a handful of models out, so it seems like they're probably not in a rush to do any more. I don't know. Like, they have the original GoStream HDMI, they have the combo SDI HDMI, and then they have the Duet 8 ISO. So it feels like there's not like any new combinations of that I would expect to see. And so if they did anything else, it would be like pretty significantly different. So it might be either a totally different price point or a totally different set of features. So I think if you are thinking about getting one, it's a good time. Does it do auto switching? Yes, it's same as the RØDECaster video. So generally, like, except for the inputs and outputs and like the number of things, it's the same. So it's kind of like the ATEM in that sense, where it's like same feature set between the ATEM Mini and the ATEM Mini Extreme. It's just more of it. So if you look at the app, you can go into the auto switching tab like normal, and this is the same. This works the same way, right? So you say, here's a camera angle. We're going to link it to microphone 1. Here's the second camera angle. We'll link it to microphone 2. Both audio channels are on camera 3, and we're going to turn on auto switching on all those. Maybe we'll prioritize this angle and this one, and then go. I think you hold down the auto button to make that work. Yeah. So if you just press down the auto button, it turns blue, and now it's in auto mode. I don't actually have any audio connected to combo 1, so it's not going to do anything right now, but yeah, that's how that works. So yeah, auto switching just like the original. I have a couple of videos I've done on the channel about auto switching with the RØDECaster video. Let me go find those really quick. I think I linked them down below. The auto switching, there it is. Auto switching your video podcast here. It would help if I could spell. There we go. Stream Deck. So there is a Stream Deck plugin, or a companion plugin. Sorry, not Stream Deck plugin. There's a companion plugin for the RØDECaster video, and I haven't actually pointed it at this one yet. Let's find out if that's the case. I'm gonna go first find the IP address of this. So go device, network, wired. There it is. And then I should be able to go into connections, and I don't know if it's going to work with this because it hasn't been updated for this particular model yet. But sometimes these work even if you don't know, even if they don't know about the new version, if they're close enough. Let's find out. Okay. Oh. Where's the setting? Oh, what? Why can't I? I don't know why that's trying to download the dev version. Let's go to the stable. There we go. Okay, it was 10.11.42.254. I don't know if this is going to work. Well, it says it's connected. Okay, let's go make a button. Are there any presets for it? Looks like there are. So I'm guessing this doesn't know about that there's not input 5 and 6. So inputs 1, 2, 3, and 4 should work. And I'm guessing if I send that, it's just going to not do anything. Let's find out. So input 2, yeah, changed. Input 3 and 4. And input 5 is probably going to do nothing. Cool, yeah, those just don't do anything. But that's good. So it means you can already use it to make companion plugins or automations with it. So that's cool. Mr. Comic Studios, is NDI also a thing for this model? It is, yes. So if you go to, let me zoom in on this. If you go to the menu, press the little eyeball, and then press on one of your video channels, you get 4 different network connections. So you can connect up to 4 NDI sources. So there's, I have network 1 configured. And if you do that, you can see here's the NDI sources on my network. I have the RØDECaster app, which is my phone. I can actually put my phone into dual cam mode too, and I get 2 video sources out of it. If you do split, it'll give you a front and back camera. And so there's the front and back. And then we should, yeah, so now both of them show up in that list. So there's stream 1, so we'll do that. Oops, RØDECaster, there we go. And then let's set network, camera 3 is network 1. Let's set camera 4 to network 2, which will be the second camera. And then if we go look at our multi-view, we should have 2 cameras, yeah, front and back. So here's the, here is that side, and here is that side. So 2 different camera angles from the same phone, which is pretty clever, pretty clever. Is that an official companion plugin by Rode? It's by an independent person, but they have like the support from Rode. I think that's how it works. So it's more or less official. Julio says, well, connecting microphones to the Behringer X Air XR12 digital mixer and then sending the signal to the RØDECaster Video S through the mic inputs improve the sound of my Rode NT1. Oh, I don't know. I've never used the Rode NT1. I would imagine that the Rode NT1 should work pretty well with the RØDECaster Video directly. There are a bunch of settings on the audio portion of this. So if you go to the audio mixer, and you look at the combo jack, there are settings like what microphone. So there's a preset for NT1. So if you've set it, if you haven't set this, try that first, because this does like sets the gain properly and stuff. So if you haven't done that, give that a try first. They have presets for a couple microphones. Otherwise, if you're just on like a generic one, you might be getting not as good quality. So do that first. Before adding like a whole nother mixer into it. Is there companion software for the S? So not yet, because I assume because it was just released, nobody's had time to write it. But it looks like at least the regular companion software for the RØDECaster Video does work with it, just minus the extra channels. So that's cool. K9 says, does it still play videos and does it have VFA like the RØDECaster Video? Yes. So I showed you the VFA a second ago. It does also play videos. Let me go and actually pull up a video to try that with. What's a good... I really need to use more video clips on my streams. I don't really have video clips for my show. Lily has one, though. Let me see if I can find hers. Her little animation that... for the donuts. Where is it? Somewhere in here. Theme song. It is livestream graphics. There we go. Her countdown. There it is. So if you look at the software, you can drag media into this. Oops, no. Yes, you can. So I just dragged that MP4 file. It was 6 megs. There's 20 gigs of internal storage now on the RØDECaster Video S. So I don't even have an SD card plugged in. And now that that's there, I can go into the media slot here and what it does on the RØDECaster. Also, I think this is new. I don't remember seeing the light up pink. So when you press the media button, you can then go and drag a video clip into one of the buttons, and then you can change what happens. This is one of the new features they added too. When the video clip is done, do you want to switch automatically? So this is actually super handy because you can have a little video transition and then change back to one of your camera angles. So this is what I have set up for Lily's show, where she runs this video clip to introduce the donut for her show, and then it'll cut to the overhead shot. You can also do scene audio now, which means you can, for example, mute your microphone, but everything except the video clip audio while the video clip is playing. So, okay, now that that's set up, let's go and show you that. And I will go... I have a companion button for this, which is easier, but I can also do it from the physical device. So I'll press that, and it's going to run the video clip. And without me touching any buttons, it'll cut back to the overhead shot after that clip is done. So pretty handy. I really need to do more of that for my show. I just haven't figured out what video clips to create. TVJ says, my last stream featured 10 video clips and really helped move the stream along. Give me some ideas for what video clips I should add. Speaking of video, is there an option for stinger transitions? So not exactly. Like if you look at the actual, where is it? If you look at the actual transition settings, that's here. So the transition options are fade, dip through black, or wipe with these patterns, but there's no stinger option. That said, what I just did is effectively a pretty good stinger, right? So if I'm on this angle and then I press the button for that video clip, B, it's going to run it, and then it'll auto switch to a preset camera or back to whatever it was before. So, oh wait, no, not back to whatever it was before. I think that is switch to input scene media. So you choose what you want it to do after that is done. Would be nice for them to add an option that's like switch back to whatever was previously live. But anyway, so it's effectively a stinger, right? But you have to use it as a media slot, not as a as your actual stinger transition area. What are the specs for the graphics processing on the RØDECaster Video? I'm not quite sure what you mean, actually, what the specs are. So, oh, here's your other question. Which is better, the RØDECaster Video or the YoloBox Ultra for graphics processing? I want to get the best quality video. I would say probably the RØDECaster Video is going to give you more consistent, frame accurate graphics and transitions. Obviously, there's a lot less features in the RØDECaster Video compared to the YoloBox Ultra, and graphics you have to load in as images versus the YoloBox where you can create them on the YoloBox by typing in text. So, but the RØDECaster Video does more of its processing and hardware, which is just generally more stable. Mr. Comic Studio says, is the interface ASIO so it's able to have multi-channel audio digitally? I don't know what it is fully capable of eventually, but currently it does not support multi-channel audio over the USB input. So if you do plug in the RØDECaster Pro, you can use the multi-channel audio when you are setting up auto switching. So the audio can be linked to, so here you can see it's giving me the options to link it to a RØDECaster Pro audio. Although I don't actually know why that's showing up because I don't have one plugged in right now. Anyway, it can read the audio levels from the multi-channel audio in the RØDECaster Pro 2 for auto switching, but it doesn't actually bring in multi-channel audio, if that makes sense. I think he means the color space and FPS accommodations. I'm not actually sure what the color space is, 10-bit, 422. I don't know if it's 10-bit or not, now that I think about it. But the frames per second options, it's got a full range of options there. If I go back to the, this is just so much easier to do on the app, but it's also accessible from the touch panel. Frame rate options, so 24 all the way through 60 at all the different fractional options. Aiden says, can you separate the output selection from HDMI and NDI like you can on the RØDECaster Video? You can, yeah. I was just actually on that a second ago. So outputs, you get to choose HDMI and USB and NDI all separately. So I have multi-view going out to HDMI right now. Then USB can be program. I'm not in director mode. That's why preview is not showing up. Program, multi-view, or any of the 4 cameras, and same with NDI. So you can set those all independently of each other, which is super, super cool. That gives you a lot of options. Nil says it's 444 8-bit. Okay, cool. Thanks for checking on that. Aiden says, does it support ISO, and what's the max res 1080p 30 like the RØDECaster Video? It does support ISO. I just did a little ISO recording, and this is what it created. So it created this folder of the program audio, program video, and then 4 video files. I thought it does ISO of the audio also. I'm not sure why that didn't give me more than one file. Maybe it's because I don't have more than that turned on right now. And then frame rate wise, it again has, it can go up to 60 frames a second. Oh, not with ISO recording apparently. So probably not that. So 30 max for ISO recording, but 60 if you're doing just streaming or just recording. Max res for ISO, yes. So that is your answer. Does it do 1080i interlace? I don't think so. Nobody does. No, nobody does interlace anymore. It's dead. Chris says, seems like there's no loss of features compared to the RØDECaster Video. Looks to be all the same specs, so it's got everything the same, just less inputs and buttons. So good. I don't know if there's actually different specs internally, like CPU and processor wise, but yeah, generally it is a slightly smaller input-output version of the RØDECaster Video, but otherwise, yeah, totally capable of all the same other stuff. Nil says it supports 1080i 25970 input. Oh yeah, as input formats, I'm sure it can handle that, but it can't output interlaced. But Neil says, can I create macros to switch between network inputs so we have many inputs? Oh, I don't think so. Because if there's no macros on it directly, and I don't think there's anything in Companion that would help, but we can look really quick. I don't think this is possible. Yeah, there's nothing in here that would change the source. Media sources, overlay sources, but not video sources. Yeah. No, that would be cool though. But so you have to do it manually, or 4 is a lot though. 4 is a lot. 1080i is not dead in television. Well, it should be. It should be. Nobody has run Doom on either of them yet. Really? That is kind of surprising. Can you stream at one frame rate and record ISO at another? No, those are linked together. So the frame rate setting is on the whole box. There's not a separate setting for recording. There's either there's a bit rate recording setting, normal or high. I don't know what those correspond to, ISO or not, but there's no, you can't stream at a different frame rate than you're recording. Tech for fun today. Unfortunately, I still run across 1080i in production. That's annoying. Al the Pal says, does Rode support multi-streaming to more than one platform out of the box? I don't think so. Let's double check in the stream settings. So if I go and add a new profile, can I turn them both on? No. So it's just one or the other. So no, no multi-streaming from this. You have to use a third-party service. Mark says, is NDI license extra or included in the cost? Pretty sure it's included, but it is, yeah, Aiden says only NDI HX, not full NDI. Mr. Comic Studio says, are you now able to specify specific inputs to the RØDECaster video outputs? Example, have only camera 1 on the first output. Yes. They added that a couple of versions ago. So again, it's easier to show in the app, but you can do it on the device too. In the device configuration section, you go to outputs, and then the RØDECaster video will have 2 here. Actually, I think I can show you that on the other one. Oh, I have to upgrade it first. I don't want to do that yet. That's Lily's. Actually, I probably should update hers before her stream tomorrow. Let's do that. Update. Okay. That'll take a minute. Can it run off a USB-C battery in the field? Ooh. I don't see why not. You would need a pretty beefy battery. One thing I did notice is that this one has, it says on the back, it says USB-C 45 watts. The RØDECaster Video says 65 watts. So 45 watts is much more reasonable for potentially running off a battery. I'm trying to think if I have a battery close by that would work. Well, I have like the big batteries that have AC out, so that would obviously work. But I'm thinking of like the little, I don't know where mine is right now. I have like a 26,400 milliamp battery with USB-C out. Oh wait, I do know where it is. If it's the right one. No, that is not the power delivery one. No, I only found my older one that does 5 volts out, and I don't know where the one is that does power delivery out, so sorry. NDI HX and 1080i, 2 things that should go away. So it's really funny because NDI HX to me actually seems like the more useful way to use NDI. I don't trust networks enough to run full NDI as like the main video delivery, but NDI HX is really useful for doing things like a phone camera or a stream off of a small webcam. So I actually would rather full NDI goes away. What's the difference between NDI HX and full NDI? Basically the bandwidth and the compression used. So the full NDI is like requires a lot more bandwidth. Like I think it's minimum of like 100 megabit a second link. NDI HX uses a compressed video stream like H264 or H265, and then I think we can actually see what this is doing. Yeah, so this is the network camera, the Rode NDI camera, and it's showing me that it's H264. I think there's an option for, no, not in the Rode app. Some apps, phone apps will have the option to change the NDI codec. And actually, let's try that. Let's try, if I go to NDI camera, for example, this will, I think this one has the option for, yeah, so I can set the resolution and the codec. So here's the codec and bit depth. So let's do HEVC and see if the Rode can take that. So over here, I'm going to, instead of network 2, we're gonna change that to iPhone HX camera. And does it work? Unsupported, no. Doesn't like HEVC apparently. So if I switch it back to H.264, oh, it also doesn't like that. Does it need 1080? No. That's weird. I could have sworn I had done this one. No. Well, I guess the Rode app works, but the NDI camera app doesn't work. Good to know. Tech for Fun says, I assume the XLR inputs can be line or mic level. Yes, that is an option. Definitely. Try the RØDECaster app and see what outputs. Yeah, I just wanted to see something other than the H.264. But yeah, if I open up the RØDECaster app again and then we go into here and go back to dual cam, then go back and discover this again. It's taking a minute. Did I turn NDI off? Yeah, I did turn NDI off. There we go. Turn it back on. And there it is, RØDECaster. It's only finding one now. Well, there it is. This one, the first feed has 1920 1080, 30 frames a second, H.264, no alpha channel. Ooh, interesting that it tells me that. I don't know why the second one is not popping up. Let's restart the dual cam. And it's rebooting into dual cam mode. Let's make sure NDI is on. There it goes. Oh. Weird. It's like, it's not in, it's giving me one split screen now. That's weird. Why is it doing that? I did something with the app and it messed up the dual cam setting. I want dual. Oh, there it is. It's in combined video format, but I need it to be in separate video format. And now it's going to send me two different NDI feeds. One is, I don't know why that app got reset. So one is the back camera, and then I should now be able to go into here and go back to network 2, and there's the second RØDECaster. There we go. That was fun. Is the NDI camera app at SHQ or HX? I thought it was HX, but I'm not actually sure anymore. 150 megabits versus 10 megabits. Yeah, there we go. Aiden says, I've run the regular RØDECaster video off an Anchor battery with a screen, and it didn't pull the full wattage with only one HDMI in and streaming running. That's good to know. Probably not feasible to test now, but I'd be curious for testing of the RØDECaster Video with NDI Discovery service. Have some problems with it handling receiving using Discovery. Oh, I have never run a Discovery server, so definitely not testing that now, but I'm also curious about that. Are you able to change the output, or is it locked to being program? The streaming output is locked to program, so there's no option to change what is streaming. Like the output, the stream output's always program. But the recording output is program or ISO, but the HDMI, USB, and NDI outputs can be changed. Yeah, I don't know if it supports alpha channel or if it's just telling me whether there's an alpha channel. It's a good question. Hey, Bailey's here. Hope everybody's doing well. Type for Fun says, how is Montreal? Is the internet still running? It is still running. Hopefully slightly better now than before. Famous Army Studio says, new to RØDECaster Video, can I do animated transitions between scenes? So I did a quick demo of this, but I'll show you again. Not exactly, but sort of. So what I mean by that is, let me show you the multi-view of this. Let's say you're on a camera like this, and you have a video clip loaded up. This is a little donut animation. And then this is configured in the RØDECaster to, if I go back to the scene builder, this is set up so that when it ends, it will switch to camera 2. So as soon as this video clip plays, it's only a few seconds long, it'll switch back to camera 2 afterwards. So if I go and click the button, it's going to run the video clip for the 3 seconds or whatever, and then it's going to auto cut to the overhead camera. So you can effectively build animated transitions between the scenes, but it takes up a media player slot. It's not a stinger is what is the term for it in broadcast switchers, and it's not like a stinger. How do you bring your social comments onto your RØDECaster video? So I have a I think I have a video for this. Oh, I talked about this in the video about Lily's setup. Oh no, but that was an ATEM. I need to do this video now. No, I think I did it. Now I'm not even sure if I did that video. Anyway, I can show you how to do it right now. We'll just do it live because that's how we do it. What I'm going to do is we're going to have a comment on the screen, and then I'm going to go to OBS and show you what my OBS does, which is that OBS has a web page loaded that displays this comment. So this is a web page. I actually have a Chrome extension that looks the same, and you can click on messages and it'll pop up into the web page. So that's loaded here. So this is however you want to get your chats into a web page. You know, use Social Stream, use my Chrome plugin, use any paid service or whatever. Just get a web page into OBS. Then the thing you need is, where did it go? Where did it go? I had it here a second ago. Did I put it in a drawer? Did I put it in this drawer? No. Did I don't know where it went. Well, what you need is a little box, which is the Blackmagic Ultra Studio. You can do it with an HDMI out on a computer too, but I prefer doing it with an Ultra Studio monitor. I'll drop that link in the chat. It's this little gray box that OBS knows how to talk to if you install the Blackmagic software. And it shows up in the menu here called Deck Link Output. And you say output to this device. And I have several versions of them plugged in, but I'm using a bigger version that has, but same concept. And you can just use a little tiny one that's cheaper instead. Once you do that, what it means is that you end up with a HDMI port output that is the OBS window. So whatever's in OBS will be coming out that HDMI port. So what I can do now is show you, we're going to take input 3 and give it, no, yeah, we're taking input 3 and give it the Ultra Studio output. So with that, I'm going to go and reassign input 3 to be HDMI 3. There we go. And now if you look at my RØDECaster, oh, the comment's in the way. That's silly. Well, here, I'll show it on the screen. There it is. So now I've got the chat web page coming through OBS, going into the RØDECaster input 3, right? So now I can use that as an overlay in the RØDECaster. And this was, again, something they added relatively recently, and I'm very glad they did. So if you go into the Overlays tab, easier again to do this on the computer. We go into the Overlays tab, click on A. We will choose input 3, which is where that is. And let's set this back over here. So input 3 is, we don't need to shrink it or anything. It's just going to be full size. And now I should be able to tap the button. Oh, I need to chroma key it or luma key it. So input 3, I forgot to do this part. We're going to take the video channel, input 3, and we're going to say key it. And we're going to give it a luma key. And now I need to actually have this on the air in order to see if it's working. So luma key is not quite right. So we're going to tweak the lightness and the darkness until it looks good. So I think, yeah, probably all the way up. It makes sense because it's just a flat black background. So background will be transparent. We don't need to mask it or anything. But now that the video input 3 is luma keyed, anything black is now transparent. And then it's set up in the overlay channel A, camera 3, because camera 3 has an alpha channel. It is now able to overlay on top of anything else. So now as I switch between the different camera angles, we can see that it is properly overlaying it on top. So I'll go back to this one so you can see it in the multi-view as well. And then I can press on A and it'll remove the overlay. So that is how you can bring in chats. That is probably worth a whole video because that was kind of complicated. Sorry if you didn't follow that. Yeah. No way to add an RTMP stream as a source on the RØDECaster video. No, it doesn't support that right now. It only supports NDI over the network. I don't know if they are planning on ever changing that, but right now, because like they're called network, they're not called NDI, which I think is maybe telling. But right now, this is only NDI. Can you move the chats up or down in the lower third? I guess so. Yeah. I mean, like, you know, fix it in your web page, I guess would be the thing I would say first. But if you can't for some reason, then let's, oh, I need to have a chat showing in order for that to work. Let's keep that on the screen and then there it is. So in the overlay settings, yeah, there was size and position. So I think I can just drag this. Might have to crop it first and then I can drag it. Yeah. So I can move it up there if you want. Crop it and put it at the top of the video. And now back in here, it's showing up at the top now. That's cool. Do I stream with OBS or am I streaming from the RØDECaster video? Right now I'm actually streaming from the ATEM, which is this whole setup. There's a rack down here with the ATEM in it. And I've got the RØDECaster plugged into these little patch things that run into the ATEM. That's my normal setup. But no, it's not OBS. It's a hardware switcher, hardware things plugged in so I can route this. Basically everything you're seeing in the RØDECaster is a copy of whatever's in my normal ATEM setup. So I have a camera running into the switcher, the ATEM switcher, so that you can see my camera on the stream in this angle, but then I send a copy out of the ATEM through that patch panel into the RØDECaster Video so that I can get a copy of my camera in here. And this is all just part of the overcomplicated setup that is my live stream studio, because I'm trying to test things like this where I need to be able to quickly change what's going in and out. So also, like a second ago, you saw me change the camera 3 from the, it used to be the NDI camera, and I changed it to, oh, that was on the RØDECaster. But so like right now, camera 2 is my overhead camera, right? But it's not like my overhead camera is actually plugged into the RØDECaster. Right? It's actually coming out of the ATEM. So I can switch what output of the ATEM is going into that. Anyway, that's a whole different topic. We don't need to go into that now. How am I getting the chat overlay into the RØDECaster Video with a Luma key? Yes. So again, now that I have it all set up, let me quickly go through it again. So input 3, oh, I need to chat on the screen so you can see it. So into the RØDECaster, we have the Ultra Studio output from OBS is going into the RØDECaster, so it's just a black background. I could also do a green background and chroma key it. But it works with Luma key also. So black background, the chats, that's input 3, and then I went to the settings, and I went to the key, and I did a Luma key over here. And that means that anything in the black in the background will become transparent. So it's a little bit easier to tell when that's chroma keyed. Let me show you what that looks like, actually, because it's a little bit easier to tell what's going on that way. I first need to turn off the chroma key on my ATEM, or the downstream key on my ATEM. So I'll go back to OBS, and let me add a green background. I think I already have a green background. And we're going to put it underneath the chats. That does not look like a good green. Yeah, let's make that a brighter green. Okay, so there's a green background, and then let's go and put a chat on here. So this is what OBS has now, right? And if I go over to the RØDECaster Video, you can see it's got a nice bright green background. So now we can go to green keying, and it just figured it out. It just said, okay, anything green is transparent now. And if I turn it off, you'll see it. There's the background. Now it's transparent. Now that that is transparent, when I go to the Overlays tab and set up Overlay A using camera 3, because camera 3 has a transparent channel in it, it knows that it can just overlay it. So when I click this and bring on the overlay, it's now chroma keying this on top. And you can do it with Luma key as well, either way. And let me undo that and bring it back. Okay. Is it a similar form factor to an ATEM Mini? Looks like it is on the video. It is actually very, very similar. There's one. Wow, it's almost exactly the same. This one's in a case, so it's a little bit hard to tell. Do I have a little wrench to take it out of this stand? Yes, I do. I know which ways screws go. There we go. And there's the ATEM Mini. Original ATEM Mini, not even a Pro. Look at that. Okay, slightly bigger. It is centimeter wider. It's about this part's about the same height, so there's this extra thickness, and then it's a lot thicker as well. So it's you can see, wow, it's so scratched up from plugging it in all the time. So definitely a little bit bigger, but compared to the RØDECaster Video, the ATEM is a lot smaller than the RØDECaster Video. So there's your size comparison. Cool. I forgot I had an extra one still. wonder what I should do with that. Maybe I can connect all my, I have 2 new cloud pods that I bought that I haven't plugged in yet. Maybe I can plug in all of my cloud pods HDMI ports into one of the ATEM minis so I can see all the little previews of the hard drives. Does it have a fan? Yes, it does. I can hear this one running right now. It sounds about the same as the RØDECaster Video. Juan says, differences between the RØDECaster Video and the OC GoStream Duo. There's a lot of differences. They're subtle though. I would say, let me think if I have a video that explains this better than I can do right now. I would say, weird. I don't have a video that explains really this. That's interesting. I should probably do that. I would say that think of the OC as it's an ATEM mini, but they fixed all the like features that you were missing with the ATEM mini. Although lately the exception is they've added web graphics rendering inside the GoStream, which is huge, and NDI. So it's like, it's actually, now that I think about it, maybe it is more similar to the RØDECaster Video. Because I was originally thinking of the GoStream as more like the ATEM mini, and then the RØDECaster Video as like really a different category. But now that they both do NDI, the GoStream does, or at least the Duet 8 has the web page graphics rendering built in. The RØDECaster does not. They are starting to look a little bit closer together. That is an interesting point. I'll have to give that some thought, actually. Interesting. I saw the CloudPod sale, I had to buy 2. I actually did that the last time they ran the sale. Yes. Giovanni says, this is really a threat to Blackmagic and the rest of the Chinese streamers. Yes. I do actually think, yes, I do think so. It's especially at the $500 price point, which is because the $1,200, like someone looking at a $300 or $400 switcher compared to a $1,200 switcher, that's just a very different category. But now this is $500 compared to the ATEM Mini ISO, which is $500, and the GoStream is still pretty cheap. But yeah, I really do think that this is a serious competition against those, which is always fun to see. Would anybody looking at the RØDECaster Video do better buying 2 RØDECaster Video S's, cascaded at 7 cameras, and 4 XLR for less money? Ooh. The problem is that I don't actually think so. I don't think you'll be happy with it. And the reason I say that is because there's only one HDMI out on this. And if you're going to use the 2 together, you need to take the HDMI out of this. I guess you could do it over NDI now that I think about it. Interesting. You could maybe take the NDI output of this into the other one over NDI. Still, I think you're going to struggle with it because it means you're changing your audio mix in 2 places. Because again, like you're only going to get a stereo audio mix from one into the other. So you'll always have to be changing your audio mix in 2 places. You'll have to be figuring out your media players in 2 different places, and it's doable, but I feel like it kind of defeats the purpose of how all-in-one and simplified they made this when you're daisy chaining like that. So yeah, or USB out as a webcam. You're right. So there's options. I still think you're going to be fighting with it more than it will actually help. Also, another thing, keep in mind, even though there are 3 HDMI outs versus 4, or inputs versus 4 on the RØDECaster Video, the bigger limitation is these. So there are only 4 video channels. So this thing can take, you actually have 3 HDMIs, a USB, and then 4 network sources. So you have 8 different possible video inputs in the RØDECaster Video S. Of those 8, only 4 can actually be active. So, whereas in the RØDECaster Video big one, you can have 6 active. So it's not twice as many, but it is 6 active, and then you have one more physical input as well. So I don't know. I feel like you can daisy chain them for sure. It'll work. I used to daisy chain my ATEM minis with the 4 inputs, and it works. But it is definitely more complicated to get your head around. Bailey says, personally, I think the ATEMs still have their place, larger ecosystem for broadcast. When I teach someone video, I use an ATEM so they're familiar with software. It's definitely, I think the ATEMs are definitely a good intro if you're actually going into the broadcast industry. But for like small studios and like podcasts and stuff, I really feel like the RØDECaster Video S did a really good job with that. TVJ says 2 separate switches rarely works well unless you have a special kind of show. For example, a football game with a special halftime show where none of the cameras overlap. Yeah, that's a good example of it. It's like a show within a show. Again, like you can mix and match and like do it, but the problem is that you're never going to have clean cuts then, because you're going to like, if you ever wanted to cut from a camera that's on one RØDECaster to a camera on the other, you're never going to get a clean cut out of that because you can't time it frame accurate. So essentially it means you're always going to be limited to, if you had your, second RØDECaster brought in into input 4, for example, then you would need to make sure this is always off air when you change the input on the other RØDECaster. And doing that right every time won't happen. You're going to make a mistake at some point. So yeah. Chris says OC GoStream doesn't have the same audio functionality. Same with the ATEM, that's what they're missing. That is true, yeah. The RØDECaster video audio processing features are really in a league of their own. The ATEM does have some audio capabilities, but it is definitely not anywhere near the RØDECaster's audio capabilities. But that is the big difference. Magewell Director line versus RØDECaster Video line. So the Magewell Director is an Android device. 2 HDMI inputs. It does have network input options. It is closer to the YoloBox, I would say, compared to the Director or compared to the RØDECaster Video. They're very, very different. Obviously, touchscreen versus no screen for monitoring on this. So probably if you just go watch like my Director versus ATEM video, you'll get a sense. It's that kind of difference. Bit off topic, but looking at the PK1 website, did NX3D purchase the PK1 brand, or was I confused and they owned it the whole time? Yes, they did. A while ago, they had started doing some of the designs, and we were like, it was like a partnership. They were doing the designs, and then I realized I just did not have the bandwidth to continue doing all of the other work necessary. So they purchased it and they run it now entirely. And they're doing a very good job, though. Very good job. Any PoE options? No, that would be cool though if it was a PoE device. But no, it is not PoE. And I don't know. Can you get PoE that even does 45 watts? Maybe the new PoE plus or whatever it's called. But no. Cool. I like the discussion about the ATEMs versus simpler. Yeah, the ATEMs are definitely a broadcast tool. They're a good entry level gear into the broadcast world, but definitely more challenging if you don't care about the broadcast world. Then you'll be much happier with the RØDECaster. Enrique says, does the RØDECaster Video S generate XML like when it records ISOs like the ATEM Mini ISO? No, it does not. I just did a test that a second ago at the beginning of the stream, and this is what it created on the drive. So it just created audio, program video, and then the 4 cameras. So unfortunately, no XML file. I mean, they can always add that later, but yeah. Eugene says PoE can do up to 90 watts with the right switch. Okay. So they could technically make it do PoE, and that'd be crazy though. Again, I feel like that's not really what their target market is going to have. Like the chances of someone who's going to buy this having a PoE switch that can do 90 watts is very low. So it doesn't seem like, maybe not a priority. You can always get a PoE to USB converter. I got one of those for running a Raspberry Pi and a little ESP32, and it works great. Cool. Okay, I should really go wrap this up. It is dinner o'clock, so I need to go eat. This has been fun. Thanks for the questions. Thanks for a little sneak peek of the RØDECaster Video S. And do take a look at the video I just posted. It's the most recent video on the channel. It goes through the highlights of this, and but I think you got a good deep dive of it right now. So I'll be back next week to do or next weekend on Sunday to do a regular Sunday live stream. So if you're new, welcome and join me on Sunday and we can keep chatting. In the meantime, thanks everybody for watching, and thanks to the extreme supporters of the channel, Larry, Andre, Kevin, and Marcin, and thanks to all the other channel members for your support. This is how I keep this channel going, and it really means a lot. If you are a channel member, you have access to the members Discord, where if you've been following along, got a sneak peek of this as it was developing and as my package was slowly making its way to me. Actually pretty quickly, but that was a whole story. Anyway, the members Discord is fun. We get to hang out and chat throughout the week, and you get to see what I'm up to, aside from the live streams. So hope to see you there. Thanks to all the channel members, and thanks to all the folks here for your questions. We will see you again, not same time, not same place, different time, on Sunday morning my time, to chat more about this, and we'll see what other questions you have about the RØDECaster video as you've had some time to digest the announcement. So thanks, and we will see you all again soon. Thanks for the videos, thanks for the live stream, and thanks for the questions. See you all again very soon. Bye.